freue mich sehr, dass ihr alle da sind und jetzt da mit dem Sammelpflanz, dass wir uns verstehen ohne Wort. Und may I introduce Franziska Duerr, my guest curator of this year's Academy, and the director, Jacqueline Burkhardt, and it's my deepest pleasure that I act as a speaker tonight, that you let the dream come true.
Wow! Wow! Without you, it's nothing. A child said after a visit to the Aargauer Art Museum, out of images, we have created a world. This is one of the most beautiful feedback I, as an art educator, have ever received. Creating a world that is the essence in art itself as well as in art education. I have been involved in What is it that turns the encounter with art into a circle? How does art penetrate everyday's life? How does it get into people's daily routine? And what is that leads back to art again? The following key expression will be guidelines along my presentation. It's decoding, condensing as an artistic process, and the changing of side. It will refrain from giving you an overview of the entire field of art education. I'll just say this: it's growing and flourishing. I will talk about my experience in Aarau, but I'm sure it could happen everywhere. But let me get started to my lecture. Decoding. No, too early. We members of the Aargauer Art Museum Art Education team often meet and address people they are getting in touch with art for the first time. The groups come into the museum because we have invited them. School classes, Rotary clubs, women groups, families, young people. Introduction differ depending on the visitor. I sometimes ask, what do you expect from your visit? School children are courageous enough to express their concerns. They are apprehensive that things will be boring at the museum, didactic, a little bit like school. But this is not the way it should be. We would like our guests to experience that art can open new horizons and inspire thoughts. Visitors are to feel comfortable in this place. They become acquainted with the particular nature of that place and with the power of art. No matter what background they have, we want to make them realize that art is for everyone who is interested in. The first visit, it's just the start, which may be followed by a relationship that is constantly deepening over the years. Therefore, it's important that we make sure the visitors experience the following. Art opens up new world and can become a spiritual home. Art is created in the viewers and affects each person differently. Art is accessible to everybody interested in. We do with the whole group what the group members will be able to repeat individually later on. The antennae are directed outwards. What do you find? And inwards, how do I face up to it? What thoughts and feelings does it trigger? So the spectators scan the artwork mentally and perceive a resonance in themselves. Just a bit of information is provided so as not drawn everyone's own subjective perception. The artwork is to speak for itself as much as possible. A kind of vacuum is created between the viewer and the artwork. They are drawn to each other, surrender themselves to each other. The artwork and the viewer have to endure this process. Art can provoke independent thinking and an alert way of seeing. At exactly that moment, we art educators have to leave enough space for this. We don't want to break this tension too early. The channels are open, curiosity and interest arise. This in turn, it is the base for in-depth understanding. The participants talk about their ways and perceiving things. All are invited to contribute. Each contribution is taken seriously. It's about respecting ways of looking and communicating. This deepens the viewer's confidence in their own eyes and links them to the person vis-à-vis. Socrates called this kind of dialogue the art of midwifery, die Hebammenkunst, Mäeutik. An open question gets the discussion going. It opens a door that leads each participant to see things in a new way. This is what it's all about. Mastering the courage to perceive something personal and moreover to put it in words. But listening to others, agreeing or disagreeing with them, contradict them, it's part of it too. Each statement offers each participant a new perspective in the artwork, that we are all focusing together. We encourage the participants to articulate their own opinions, to provide associations, and to join the debate. The process lasts as long as everyone keeps thinking and talking attentively. So I have spoken about the examples. Here is one. What do you think what it is? Now we can just play that Mäeutics, but I will continue to tell you about. By the way, example, I'd like to tell you about something that happened at an exhibition of the artwork of Hugo Sutter, a Swiss artist. He lives and works with a direct view on a lake, a view, in fact, which has inspired his work for years. I remember sitting in front of this artwork, Summer Stagnation, with a class of primary school kids. There are colored dots on a green background. Hugo Sutter repeatedly measured the color of the water with a color chart. He then transferred result of the measurements to the canvas. Now maybe you understand what he did here. And in original it's much more beautiful than this one. But then we are sitting opposite the picture and talk about the color of the water. One boy says loudly, "Where I come from, the water is always blue." This unleashed a debate. Who has seen the water in different color? Various suggestions are flying back and forth, but the boy is unflinching, reacting to his classmates' suggestions as the following. Where I live, next to the lake of Walen, the water is blue even at sunset. The boy sticks to his opinion, but he promised to check again. Perhaps he and his classmates will think about art, Hugo Sutter, and the museum when they look at a lake the next time. It was Paul Klee who said, "Art does not reproduce the visible. Art makes visible. Without you, it's nothing." The work of art is decoded by the viewers and is recreated in them. We as art educators open up spaces for seeing and thinking. We encourage the people to trust their own perceptions. We want people to share their perspective on art with us. How we do that? Let me tell you. Condensing as an artistic process. This is another painting from Hugo Sutter to the colors of the water. So, the viewer gets gets one step nearer to the art by not only talking about it but actively participating. The doctor and child psychologist and educator Maria Montessori did a lot of research on learning. In the first half of the 20th century, Montessori observed that learning happens with the most success when people do not do it actively. She coined the phrase, "Help me to do it myself." Confucius went in the same direction by affirming that I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I act and I understand. We would like the visitors to the museum to develop a certain understanding. That is why we enable them to become active themselves. The participants are invited to express their thoughts about a work of art in words or in another shape, like a drawing, a sculpture. We provide the equipment and the space so they can shape something themselves. They react to the art by creating something of their own. The spectators turn into creators. That is something they are not used to. Whether a child or adult, each and everyone must do what they have never done before. Many adults are afraid, for instance, to hold a pencil in their hand and to draw something. We encourage them, we clarify the situation. It's not about creating a masterpiece, but about personal expression. We motivate visitors to try something new, to do their own thing, and to conceive of themselves as initiators, with all the dots and all the joys that are involved with that. The ultimate satisfaction of the participants is not so much caused by the result than by their own courage and determination by means of which they have found a form for their thoughts. The result is unimportant. What has emerged is not a work of art, but a condensation of the perception of the artwork. By carrying out this task, the participants have undergone an artistic process. In return, we art educators accept contradiction, people shaking heads, embarking on detours, and generally slowing down the whole process. In one word, it is deceleration. Neither in art or in education, consider reaching the goal as quick as possible is the main objective. What they are in fact about are truthfulness, reality, helplessness, finding support, making decisions. Art is an adventure, even the viewing of art. The spark may be ignited, but there is no guarantee that it will happen. Let me illustrate this by the means of another example in the exhibition Nothing is Lighter Than Light from the Bernese artist Markus Reth. Voilà, it. I showed you an example to presentate a work of the artist without title, After Man Ray. Next to the sculpture, we even swing our hips, moving in synchronicity with the swinging gap between the moving cylinders. Have you discovered the figure in the gap? I just show you again. And Ursina like very much that to do like that in the right moment. In the middle, the white. Be concentrated on the white thing. Again. Again, no. You don't. Yeah. Now it makes like that, and now it goes to the other side, and you don't see a head, you just see, like the famous photo from Man Ray. So, after the again, we do it later on again, huh? Saturday night. After the exhibition tour, we asked the participants to join us into the studio. There, we give them the task to draw from memory what they remember as a highlight of the exhibition. Würdest du it? We are eager to see who will choose what. A lot of drawing devoted themselves to the dancing figure entitled After Man Ray. And this is our documentary book. Yeah. A lot of drawings devoted themselves to the dancing figure entitled After Man Ray. We can now see in front of us in black and white who recognized the figure formed by the gap and who focused on the rotating cylinders. We are surprised how many people did not notice the significance of the gap, particularly adults. Fascinated by the rotation, they have chosen the cylinders as their highlight and recreated this in a drawing. Equally, yeah. No. So. Und jetzt. Könntest du mir nicht helfen, das nächste Video einzurichten? Und lass es doch gerade bei dem da. Darfst du mir das nächste Video einrichten? Gut, danke vielmals. Equally often, metamorphosis is selected. While one is walking around the object on the noticed, one noticed a change. A man with the hat changed into a rabbit, and then again into a man with the hat. Und jetzt das nächste, ja. And it's a Bernese artist who is called Markus Reetz. What a pity I forgot to invite him for that speech. I will do it again for him. What surprised me the most is the following. Well, I was not surprised. I was not surprised that a lot of children and even adults have chosen the metamorphosis. And it's not easy to find a way to draw this. But then, so I just continue. One day I discovered a horse on a pedestal among these drawings. It's not this one, huh? I am amazed. Did I miss a work of art? I walked through the exhibition again, and I was looking for the original. Nothing. No horse to be found anywhere at all. I asked a group to help me look. Nothing. This horse, or rather the drawing of it, becomes a symbol to me. It stands for the different ways to see art. How can I know what another person apprehends? Did or recognize? What can I know? What another other person see? Did the person who drew the horse understand something incorrectly? Has the rabbit in recollection returned into a horse? I regret not to be able to show you the drawing of the horse today. We bound of the many drawings 2 books. One of these, it is the one we have sent to Markus Reetz. He answered in a letter quote, in a letter, so, tun wir so, dass man es nicht lesen kann. He answered in a letter, the collection of drawings you sent me pleased me so much. I rarely get so spontaneous and immediate feedbacks, which shows so clearly what the viewers perceive in an exhibition and what's with the documentary. It's particularly valuable to me, and it's why the documentary is so valuable to me. Thank you for the funny, interesting, and sometimes also touching drawings. End of the quote. And you see, we are very proud of that experiment of the letter. And I just can say, without you, it's nothing. By formulating and designing responses, the viewer participates in an artistic process. This response makes vision visible. This can close the circle back to the artists, curators, or other person interested in. The third one, the third expression is the changing of the site. Being familiar with art culminates in presenting it to others. What happens is a changing of the site. It means visitor takes the site with art, the role reversal from viewer to presenter. It is based on a process of initiation. It means participation. It takes courage for the presenter to be at the center of the attention and so justify their own choice. They put themselves on one level to the artwork. What is important to us as art educators is to make clear under which condition these things happen. The sovereignty of interpretation is transferred to the visitor. These are guided art tours. These are not guided art tours in a classical term, but rather subjective views on art. I remember a group of apprentice hairdressers in 2004. The young woman's interest is the hair. They apply their professional view to the collection and present a work of art to each other afterwards. A young woman presents us the portrait, woman with the yellow scarf. She speaks about the fringe, its angle, the distance to the bulk of the hair, and the length of the fringe. I learned something about the portrait, but also about the mindset of the young woman. And I'm told that the woman with the yellow scarf has an absolutely modern fringe according to the fashion, to the hair fashion of 2004. Now already it changed a lot. It would not be possible anymore to talk in that way. Cooperation with visitors who get ambassadors is even more intensive in the project Kulturattaché. Together with the Swiss Art and Cultural Council of Pro Helvetia, it was initiated in 2008 at various locations in Switzerland. At the Aargauer Art Museum, the project still continues today. Approximately 30 visits by attachés take place every year. They come with a group of friends, neighbors, colleagues. With the project, we reach new groups of visitors, such as Tamil families or a group of politicians. They get to know the museum via a friend or colleague. It represents their first step into the world of art. Because someone who has never seen the art museum before can hardly be expected to go there on their own initiative. I myself remember my first visit to the museum or to the cinema. Someone I knew had taken me along. And to be honest, I'm waiting for someone who takes me one time to a hockey match. And here, here is another example of Kulturattaché. Ruth is a supervisor of a recreation facility. And at the same time, she is interested in art and comes from time to time to the Aargauer Museum. She is involved in the project Kulturattaché as an ambassador. After some initial shyness, she mustered enough courage to accompany a group of visitors to the museum. Not didactically, but across, but rather in the shape of walking through the museum. She invites a group of older men who regularly plays cards together. The men have never entered the museum before. Together they walked through the collection. I brought you two examples. This is from Caspar Wolf, 230 years old. And this one, So together they walk through the collection. They are amazed by the treasures of the house, the old masters. In the contemporary art section, for example, this one, the admiration turned into confrontation. Ruth later, the attaché, later reports to the following dialogue. Suddenly, one of the men says, "What? This black circle is supposed to be art?" His colleague replies bluntly, "You just do not understand, you old fool." Why I'm telling you this story now? Because it seems to me to carry a clear and meaningful message. A new thought tone was brought into the museum. I noticed how different these two worlds are. They would not say it in front of me as a representative of the museum. Not that I advocate bluntness in the museum, but bouncing life around art. Without you, it's nothing. We give visitors the opportunity to participate in the educational process and to become ambassadors for art. They present the art museum and the artworks. They create identification with art. We do not want to keep this pleasure all to ourselves. We want to share it with others. Now, I have explained to you how art meets people and how the circle goes back to art. My wish is that art reaches many people. Art should get should get as close as possible to the viewer, so that the density of art seeps into everyday life, to the benefit of everybody involved. The process is ongoing. We can all contribute. We can all contribute something. Without you, it's lonely. Now, it's your turn. We just opened all the windows, nobody died, no? Do somebody feel really cold? And I don't know if you have, I don't would say questions, maybe also questions, but remarks we would be very interested in. I think we and also the fellows from the Summer Academy. Remarks, thinking. Sollen wir schon abbrechen? Ist gut.
What do you expect from us artists?
Oh.
Or no, you are near artists too.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, maybe everything is so clear, and we just start now to have a beer and to bring people and art together, because I'm sure everybody in here has a possibility. But maybe first we have to drink a beer and to go working tomorrow morning or after tomorrow. So thank you very much.
Von Herzen und so aus deinem Leben raus und aus deiner Erfahrung raus.
Schön.
Ja.
Du hast mir Mut gemacht.
Klar, man muss raus.
Wo du gesagt hast, muss es ganz genau beschreiben.
Nein, es ist wahr und dass man weiss, was es dass der Effekt ist. Und dann gibt es natürlich noch den ganz...
Sorry, dass ich noch Frage gestellt habe.
Super.
Gratulieren.
Ist gut gegangen?
Ja. Ich habe selber Freude.
Ja, nein, es sieht so wie so Schaft.
Das Panieren und die verschiedenen Arten.
Sehr gut.
Ja, in Marienthal ist es.
Aber komm, wir machen mal ab.
Ja. Soll ich das dann das Handy aufschreiben?
Was?
Wenn du noch mal hast, das
Aber dein Telefon
Bist denn du noch mal im Kunst, im Zentrum?
ist ja nicht mehr.
Und dann machen wir noch sicher an.
Ja,
Ja, das machen wir.
melde dich mir, du hast mein Mail.
Hast es du nicht?
Hast du nicht? Das zählt alle keine.
deine Nachteilnummer aufschreiben, dann tue ich dir ein SMS schicken, dann hast du meine Nummer, dann können wir etwas abmachen. Das ist gut.
Also, noch wie viel?